Walk-on Indians are getting ready for their first round playoff game. They'll make the trip down to Anamosa this week. Head coach Chad Beermann joining us. And coach, you qualified for the playoffs with a nice performance against New Hampton. Got off to a good early start and really took control of the game early on, just as you would want to do in a must-win situation, I'd imagine.
Yeah, we had went out to a nice 24-0 lead, and then kind of stalled out into the first quarter, first part of the second quarter, and they have to put together a couple of drives, cut it to 24-14. We then responded, went down and scored again, and then forced a turnover and got another score before a half. I think it was 38-14 or something like that at half, and came out and about the end of the fourth quarter, about the end of the third quarter, we were able to pull starters and get a bunch of other kids in there, and they put up a score. Their kids, they had like three injuries on their defense during the course of the game. So, I mean, that helped us out too. But, the kids responded well and did what they needed to do to get us into the playoffs.
And what do you credit to the good start and that sense of urgency that your kid showed early on in that game? What do you credit that to?
Well, we didn't make the big turnover that I mean, that's kind of bit us in a lot of the games that we've lost and things went sideways. We make a big mistake early, and that kind of gets us behind the eight ball, and then we have a hard time digging out. We didn't do that. Not really most of the game. So, but we didn't put ourselves in have to dig out to start with, and then we ran the ball really well. The line blocked, probably the best they blocked all year. We only threw a few passes. Jackson did a nice job finding people open, and the defense played pretty well. They did have two pretty good drives against us. Actually, one of them was a short field we gave them on a fumble, but we were, like I said, we were kind of had a cushion at that point, so we were able to bounce back easier.
And you talked about the defense. You forced four turnovers last Friday night. How key was that?
It was big. We did a good job of getting into passing lanes, staying over the top of. New Hampton has two really good receivers, and I mean they made some big plays against Crestwood the week before, so we did a good job of staying over the top of those kids and kind of taking away some of the deep throws. They did hit one late, but we kind of subbed out by that point. So.
And you talked about how well you ran the football, 351 yards the other night. How much pride can your linemen take when you have two rushers over 100 yards each last Friday?
Well, they did a great job of sealing the edge for us and then turning and pulling and leading up because we like to pull our linemen, get them out in space and get kick out blocks and get downfield and throw those extra blocks, and did a good job with that. We had Green Curtin is the more pound the ball kind of ball carrier, and then we were able to get Isaiah Mouty, who's a sophomore, but get a little more burst to him, gets him some carries, and both of them were out over 100 yards, so that was a good night for both of them.
And this week, you open up postseason play and make a long bus trip down to Anamosa. What have you been able to figure out about the Raiders to this point?
They're a team that's going to spread it out. We got two excellent receivers, one really good back, and another one that can come in as needed. And then they got a quarterback who does a nice job passing the ball around. They had teams go up and down the field on them, but then when they get down inside the 10, they kind of tighten things up. And they had a shutout last weekend to win their district title. And it's been, I think we played down there in 18. We played them at home in 19. So we've been down there before, and it's one of those situations where the school is one place and you dress and then get on the bus and ride over to the side of town to play the game. So that's always a challenge in the 2 hours, but they've got a nice explosive team, and we'll have our hands full. I think we have some opportunities to make some plays, and particularly if we get the running game going, we should be able to give them a good contest.
How do you manage a 2 hour bus ride in a playoff situation, or really in any situation?
Well, I mean, one of the issues with playoffs is technically there's like time limits. Like you're not supposed to have locker room access till this time, and so we're still gonna get down there a little early and move around and do our walkthrough and stuff before we get the kids changed and get the taping and stuff done. That'd be a big part of it is you don't want to just roll off the bus after a 2 hour bus ride and try to go out and play a football game. You got to get them moving a little bit.
All right, Coach. Hopefully you can get yourself a victory, keep your kids healthy, and hopefully we can have another conversation next week. Best of luck to you.
Thank you very much.
Chad Beermann, head coach of the Waukon Indians, and Anamosa in round number 1.